Some reason. How about now? Can you hear us now? Hopefully you can hear us now. So maybe before it was muted. for some silly reason. Please keep on commenting. If you are able to hear us now, please let us know. Can you just talk for a minute, Kylie, whilst I try and figure this out?
Yep. Awesome.
You have to talk because or else people won't know.
Yeah, so we have been at an amazing couple of gatherings over the last few weeks, and that has just been
Okay, so let's just start from scratch with the sound. Can you hear us now? Yes or no?
Let's see.
Is there a yes there? Is that a yes?
Yes or no?
Okay, so it's very hard for people to interact with us if they can't even hear us or if we're not talking at all. They're not going to say anything to us. Okay, we've got a yes there. So
Awesome.
We'll just continue to talk. Yes, we can. Sam Henderson. Oh, thank you for tuning in, Sam Henderson. Thanks for joining us this evening all the way from the lounge room.
So cool. Love it.
All right, so now we are here. Now we know that people can hear us. Have you got anything at all that you wanted to talk about apart from motorbikes, Kylie?
No, well, I hadn't really been thinking about talking about motorbikes, but I know you love talking about motorbikes. So
I went for a ride today in the rain.
And you didn't even get wet.
And didn't even get wet. No.
Like, how does that happen?
Well, it just depends what type of bike you're riding, Kylie, as to whether or not you can avoid rain, whether you've got a screen and you've got the right clothing, heated hand grips and that kind of thing.
And you got to hang out with some people you hadn't seen for a while?
Yeah, I went to another town and visited some people that I haven't seen for a few years. So it was really cool to meet up with people and I actually went to church today, Kylie.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Fancy going to church on a Monday?
On a Monday, and it was open. And
That's
there
awesome.
was coffee there. There was people there preparing food for an event tonight. So it was really good to get to visit people at church, even on a Monday.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We do church. What days do we do church?
Every day.
Every day.
Well, it depends on what you say church is. Like,
what
is
do you
church?
say church is?
Church is probably just gathering with people that love God. Like, you would like to think that's probably got something to do with it.
Well, then we just do church every day. So I visited some other people as well that were pastors of ours from years ago, from about 10 years ago, that accidentally started a church in a park because of COVID. COVID forced them to do things
differently.
Secretly.
Yes, secretly. the undercover church.
Yeah, so it's been interesting the last couple of years being around people that have been forced to gather in different places because of the lockdowns and etc. that we had in Australia. People were not able to attend churches like they used to be able to. So out of that longing to connect with like-minded people with the same heart, the same love for God, people were forced to gather in secret locations.
Hey, Justin.
Hello, Justin
Nadia.
and Nadia. It just says Justin. Nadia's probably not watching. She's probably watching Friends or something on TV.
That is us. We are their friends.
Oh, okay. So hello, Justin and Nadia. Thank you so much for everything that you participated in over the last couple of weeks, all the
Yeah.
efforts that you put in, the sacrifice of being away from your
And-
children.
And they're another couple that are like superhuman, you know, those kind of people that when you like step into the fullness of like that limitless capacity that we have in God, like that place where we go beyond like seemingly.
They're beyond human.
Yeah, they're beyond human. Exactly. And who did we get to spend time with? The author of the book called Beyond Human. And he was a little bit beyond human too.
Yes, Justin Abraham. So I don't know how it is. Well, I do know how it is you don't know of Justin Abraham. I met people today that don't know him. And I guess it's just mixing in different circles. But in the circles that we mix in, Justin Abraham's quite well known. And he does have a book called Beyond Human. And he is beyond human. And he got to make me laugh. He tickled me.
And I tell you what, that is like no mean feat. Like that is seriously.
Yes. Nadia is watching too. Hello, Nadia.
Who even gets to tickle you? Like I've never been allowed to tickle you.
No, you better not start.
And yet Justin was able to tickle you. That was bizarre.
Well, over a period of probably about 10 days on and off, he tried and he finally got me to laugh.
I love it. It was very, very cool. Yeah.
So hello, Nadia. Thank you for jumping on as well, for tearing yourself away from the TV. Is that what you were doing, Nadia? No, you wouldn't be doing that. She's probably reading a Bible, something like that.
Yeah, like all the good Christian people. We're all just reading our
And
Bibles.
there's another person that we know online. So thank you, everybody, for joining in the conversation. More like watching her baby is. Rebecca Milne. I like your beach pose that you've got going on there.
I know. Such a beach babe. Moving to the coast, another one.
So it'll be good for you when you move from the town that you're in and move closer to the beach. We better not encourage everybody to move to the beach because maybe the earth will tip over or something if everybody lives on the coast.
Exactly.
We need some people out in the country areas.
Yeah, that's right.
We need some people in the country areas.
We need the fires burning everywhere.
Yeah, and we need, well, it'd be nice to have people gather in some of those empty buildings, those A-shaped, those buildings shaped like that.
Well, just any empty buildings in it at all, full stop. Like how many empty buildings are there? We should be occupying all the spaces with the glory.
At last, we've actually got someone seeking our advice, as dressed as silly as we are. Hey, I need advice. Hello, Bernie.
Hey, Bernie. How's it going?
Ruby wants a guitar for her birthday. Where do you buy them? Gumtree? No, Bernie, if I was you, being as wealthy as you are, mate, I would drive to the closest large town to where you live, and I know where that is, and so do you. And I would just walk in and ask for the most expensive guitar that they have for a child the age of Ruby.
Yeah.
And so I think for a person like you, mate, you should be spending at least $5,000 on a guitar for her if you want her to have any hope in life of being a good musician.
You probably could find one on Gumtree, but seriously, I would just...
No, you got to know what you're after.
Yeah, you
if
do.
You're buying on Gumtree, you'll only get something that doesn't work or that needs a lot of work done to it. Go buy something brand new and you can afford it, Bernie.
Well, the two major centres near Bernie would have to be Dubbo or Tamworth, and both of them have great music shops.
Yeah.
So
that's advice, Bernie. Are you after any spiritual advice? Because we're actually spiritual advisors more than just musical advisors.
Although it is really cool that Ruby is wanting to release her sound, because we all need to be releasing our sound. That was one of the things we got to do at our great gatherings, was like to be like, you know, warming, releasing sounds, playing guitars, singing, playing drums. Like, how great is it when everybody like lets go of their inhibitions and comes into that place where we're just releasing our sound, that that sound that is wanting to just come up from within the center of our being and just explode out into the earth. Like, how cool is it?
I released sound today, Kylie, whilst I was riding my motorbike. I was doing that Nancy Cohen thing, you know, that on the bike in my helmet. Sounds really good in your own helmet. Everybody should buy motorbikes and release their sounds. And the shalom, shalom, doing that over and over again. They brought me great peace and joy.
Yeah, come on.
No, what are you doing? Don't press buttons. Songbird's releasing her sound.
Yeah, come on.
There?
It's a little trumpety thing. Is it a trumpety thing?
Okay, so Bernie's got some more questions. Okay, I'll ask Ruby if we need spiritual advice. Thank you. I miss you guys so much. I never say that stuff either, Bernie. We miss you too, mate. And we are very grateful for the time that we got to spend in our lives with you. And one day I may just come up your driveway. And if you do see, maybe I better give you notice that I'm coming, because I know what you're like. I will. I'll give you some notice. Yeah, by all means, mate, get in touch with us anytime. It's a very special time, those few years that we got to spend with you. And you know what, Bernie, you're very fortunate, mate, because the amount of time we lived in that town is the longest we've ever lived anywhere.
It's true. It is
Can
true.
you move your arm off me? Thank you. I don't like it. Now, I was telling somebody today about the podcast that we do and these things that we do on screen, and how we just don't pretend to have our lives together. We just don't pretend to have it all worked out. We don't pretend to be arguing 2 minutes beforehand and then flick a switch and then everything's all right. I like to actually keep going with the arguments and the annoyance that you make me feel like, you know, you got your arm around me.
You're always annoyed.
You do that thing with your mouth, that clicky mouth thing. Okay.
Anything else, honey?
No, I'm pretty right outside of that. I think that we should probably, I know it's called happy hour, but I feel like we need to give some sort of content, some sort of, spiritual discussion, because that is what we're about. You know, real conversations about mystical things is one of our taglines. Have you got anything mystical to discuss?
Well, I was thinking about the whole mystical union, you know, like we've been away for this crazy, amazing couple of weeks. We've been in physical mystical union with a whole bunch of cool, crazy people that like love God and just are on this journey of discovering who are we? What does this mean? Like, what is possible?
Everything.
Can our bodies
things.
Heal themselves? Are we?
Yes.
Are we capable of like, you know, being in charge of weather patterns?
Yes.
Can we like expand our consciousness? And you know, like there's so many different things.
Can we travel inside of words? Beings.
Exactly. And is time movable? Is some, you know, like, because you have those days where the day goes really quick, and then you have those days where it goes really, really slow. So is time actually movable? Like there's so many things.
But before we go into those deep mystical discussions, I would just like to bring up that Rebecca Milnes says, better glasses, Sean. Thank you so much. I've had my ears straightened. My glasses are in alignment. You can just see my eyebrows sticking out evenly above them. Thank you for noticing.
I love it.
So what have you got mystical-wise, Kylie?
Well, I was thinking, like, remember in the first chapter of John where Jesus is teaching an example of where the truth that he knew at the core of his being, that Jesus, God, and everyone else is one.
Keep going.
Mm-hmm. So Jesus' prayer for all that came down the line was to know that God was in Jesus and Jesus was in God. So once you believe that a human could be one with God, is like it is possible to participate in this oneness because we knew that as a human we're like capable of infiniteness, like so much more, because of this
Infiniteness is like a big word, Kylie. That's like
Limitless.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So keep
So,
going.
like Jesus said, I have given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one as we are one. So what is that glory? Like, is the glory like expanded life?
Mhm.
Is the glory like limitless love?
Mhm.
Is the glory like wholeness and oneness and health? Is it enhanced being? Is it fullness? Like, what is it?
Hey, make sure to iron out your coffee card too. You can't boss me around online.
Yeah, come on. Hey, Sam.
Make sure to iron out your coffee card too.
Will you get your coffee card and you literally, like, you've got all the little stamps on
Hang
it
on.
and you like scrunch it up in a ball like that?
Hang on a second. Let's go back to the mystical conversation. But welcome aboard, Sam. Thank you for joining in the conversation. This is a conversation about mystical things or spiritual discussions, more so than coffee cards. And like I said to you this morning, I really don't understand why it is that I pay for coffee. I'm used to, I kind of expect that everywhere I go, that coffee should be free.
Yes, you live in the constant flow, so coffee is free.
Yeah, coffee should be
Yeah.
free. Everything.
And Beck just says, so good, the glory is you. It's so true. The glory is you. You are the glory.
So
Glory.
I'm going to talk about an
Glory
experience I
child.
had.
Glory.
Keep going. How about you release a song? No. Now I've
You're
said
just
it,
talking
you're not gonna
about
do it.
travelers.
So I don't like flying on airplanes, right? I've never enjoyed it, but I do know that to get to places in the world that you need to be able to go on airplanes. And I have flown on a few. I have been overseas a few times, but I've never like loved it, but I've just accepted that that's a part of my life. Why are you doing that? When we were away going to these conferences that we went to, I had to go on 4 flights, and I wasn't looking forward to them, was I, Kylie? No. And I get, I don't actually have a fear of crashing into a mountain or crashing into the ground or landing in the ocean or anything like that. I don't think about it. And sometimes when I fly, I'm okay. And sometimes when I fly, I'm not okay. And so as we started to take off on the first of 4 flights, I was hopeful that it was going to be one of those occasions where I was okay. And I wasn't. I was not feeling very confident. I had a little bit of anxiety. I started to, just as the pilot started to really rev up, and you know how they start going really fast across the ground just before it lifts off, you have all those thoughts of like, this is the time where the plane can just smash into the ground. When they take off or when they land, the times apparently when most accidents happen. Obviously, it's not when they're just cruising in the air. So I'm thinking all of these things. I'm wondering if this thing's going to take off, whether it's going to be a safe takeoff or whether we're going to perish on the ground. And I realized that at that time that for the pilot flying that fast along the ground, getting ready to take off, that he would be feeling joy in that moment, that he would be feeling the joy just like I feel when I ride my motorbike. So when I ride my motorbike, or you know, most people who ride motorbikes would know, or fast cars, when you accelerate, there's like this that's just like a really joyful occasion. It's like part of the excitement of riding a bike is that feeling of you know, taking off fast. It's enjoyable. So I realized that the pilot most likely was feeling that at that time when we were taking off. So what I did was I actually pictured that the pilot was in a bubble, like a big bubble, like a detergent bubble right around his body. And that bubble was called joy. So I actually put myself inside the bubble of joy in the pilot. And I experienced the 4 flights inside the bubble of the joy of the pilot. and I had no issues at all.
And you should have seen it. I was sitting next to him and his face was all peaceful, like joyful even. Like he had his eyes closed and I've never seen you fly like that before.
I was even on the last flight when I was taking off, I had my arms out just going, yeah. Which I'm not allowed myself to do in the past. And yeah, so the bubble of joy, is it just like some sort of mental application that you apply? Is it a spiritual thing? Is it something that happens in the unseen realm, another dimension? Is it just a mental, trickery that gets your brain to function in a different space? What do you think?
I think it's a reality. I think it actually is that you are able to go into that place. It's like when you were talking about actually walking up the street in the being of gratitude, where you're actually going into the being of gratitude, and it allows you to be able to function and see everything in the street, everything through these completely different eyes.
There's some quite outrageous comments, bald-headed eagle happening on the screen. Like you don't have any feelings. Lucky Bernie and other people that used to sit at the bar got rid of all the feelings that I used to have. But yeah, the bubble of gratitude. There was another day whilst we were away where I actually placed myself inside a bubble of gratitude and walked down the street inside that bubble of gratitude.
Yeah.
And viewing out through that bubble of gratitude as I walked, and everything that I saw, I was grateful for. And every person that I spoke to, and you know how I just walk up to people and just talk to anybody in the street. As I walked up and was talking to people, it was like they could see that I was living in gratitude as well. And it changed. It really sets up a conversation in that space of gratitude when you are functioning from within a bubble of gratitude.
Yeah, it is. And even just the whole concept, how we've been completely expanded on a whole nother level about the relational way that we interact, even with all of the, like, say, the fruits of the spirit. If you look at each one of those as being a being, then you're actually in relationship with each one of these entities. Like with each one of these, you're in relationship with love, you're in relationship with kindness, you're in relationship with goodness. And like you were saying, gratitude, you're in, like, one of the amazing messages that was shared at the Entangled conference that we were a part of was from David von Blankensee, and he shared about walking with favor, and favor being this little guy in this brown suit.
An actual being.
An actual being of favor. And I remember that following morning when I woke up and I walked down onto the beach really early in the morning, and I was standing like watching the sunrise and looking out, and all of a sudden I saw next to me Favor, this little guy called Favor, and he was standing like right there, except he wasn't wearing a little brown suit. And I said to him, what's the go with the suit? Like, where's the little brown suit? And he said to me, this is the suit that I wear when I'm with you. And it was like this cool white suit, and it had all these like psychedelic, colorful, tubey vortex things like all over it, and was like, wow, like each one of us can have relationship with all of these different beings, and they become who they are when they walk with us. Like they become almost like what we need, or the like who we partner with. Like it's all of the, it's multidimensional, isn't it?
I think so, Kylie, yes. Yeah. So that being of, what was his name?
Favor.
Favor's
a good guy to walk with.
And we also at the conferences discussed at different times about other beings that are sometimes referred to just as words.
Mm.
So some people see things as being words, one-dimensional. A word's just a word. But other people think of them as being beyond that as well, and so far as being beings. And there was other discussions around gratitude. What were the other ones? Gratitude, favor,
provision, abundance.
Provision and abundance.
So
faith.
Faith.
Do you walk by faith, or can you walk in faith?
Yeah.
Inside.
And inside of faith, the being of faith. Oh, hey, Fred.
Good, Silver. Qantas have 4 bubbles of. I'm going to put that. I can't really read that. I'm going to put it up there. Hopefully, it's not inappropriate. Qantas have 4 bubble of Boss Max.
Spotted the right brothers around the world 90 days.
Not sure what that means. I do remember the first time that I hopped on a plane ever to leave the country. We flew gold and silver. Yeah, the beings of gold and silver. That's right. And they did that safety talk. And that's what they did too when we were flying the other day, didn't they? They do that. They do that talk where they get the buckles out and they.
And I could not stop laughing.
And that lady had to come and tell us to stop.
Actually, I got in trouble from laughing in the safety talk.
Can you not be laughing during the safety talk?
But I was like the cry laughing, you know, when you get the laughter inside of yourself and it's just coming out and you cannot stop it. And the more you try to stop the laughter, the more you're laughing. Like that's how much I was laughing in the safety talk.
And you've got to be serious.
And the lady was so serious. She was like, you know, being super serious.
And they tell you that thing like, you know, if you crash into a mountain, don't worry, we've got whistles. Life jackets, things that drop out of the ceiling, and whistles if you happen to get stranded in the middle of nowhere and you need a whistle.
Oh, no way.
I remember first coming to Australia as a child.
And they would spray.
And they would spray an aerosol in the cabin before we were allowed to disembark.
Someone was talking about that still happening.
Well, no, that happened. I saw somebody comment on Facebook recently about that, but that happened to me when we've been to India a few times. They do that when you're flying there. And nobody knows what it is.
No.
They just walk up and down.
It just starts coming out and it's like, what is
spray out of a can, which is an interesting thing. Maybe that's actually what makes you sick when you're in India. Maybe it's not the food. Maybe it's the spray on the
disinfectant.
Aeroplane.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's disinfectant.
No, I know. We don't know what it is. It's just stuff and nobody says anything. Everybody just stays really silent, just going.
Yeah, you just assume. Yeah, it could be
Glen 40. Yeah. Let's hope it's only Glen 40.
It's Glen 20, isn't it?
Oh, Glen 20.
WD 40.
WD 40.
You don't know. Fly spray, it could be anything.
WD 40, so that's pretty handy for a lot of things.
Now, Fred is saying favour in a suit is so cool. So why don't you just talk a little bit more about that, Kylie? So about the person that was speaking about the being of favour being a person that walks by his side when he needs favour. And so he consults favour when he needs to come up with an answer at work.
So good. I love it.
So is it possible for everybody to walk with favour? Is it possible for everybody to walk in gratitude, walk in faith, walk in joy?
Yeah, totally.
Do you have to put these things on and take them off? Are they forever once you put them on?
I think that anytime you've visited anything, especially in the spirit realms, it's always an invitation to go back there. So it never has to be a one-off thing. Once you meet people, you're only being expanded and you can always engage them.
Another thing that I've been thinking about a lot, Kylie, is so we talk about ascension, which is cruising through heaven, looking around heaven. That's probably like the most simple way of explaining it, isn't it? seeing yourself in heaven, having a look around, bringing heaven to earth, that kind of discussion. So we've been taught that we can do it. We've been taught that we can see these beings. We've been taught that we can see in what was called the unseen realm, but we can see in there. So we've been taught that all of this is normal now. And, you know, there's lots of people on TV even.
And I think we haven't just been taught it, we've experienced it. So we know it to be true, because it's not just some knowledge that we've gathered about this subject, but we've actually gone out there.
And where I was going to go with that, if you had to let me finish what I was saying, was that there are TV shows even, you know, where guys, you know, they'll go and visit people, and, you know, this dude will be like, I can see your grandma called Merle in heaven and she has something for you, you know. So we've accepted that there's actual other dimensions that we can see in.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I was going with it. So now what I'm wondering is, once we can see in those places and they become our reality, why is it that we somehow decide that we don't function in both places, like heaven and earth, at the same time? Now that we can see in those unseen realms, why is it that we're either there or not?
Well, I think we're just not used to it, that we're always in. Like, the concept of being always in is different to actually the experience of never leaving that place, of always interacting like we've got all of our multi-dimensional eyes open all at the same time, and that we're always engaging in all of the spaces, that is possible.
Yeah.
Because we start by thinking that we go to where God is, and then we come back and we deposit what we receive there on the earth.
Yeah, so there's a comment there. It's nice that you can see benevolent beings. I only see the dark. And thank you for the comment. And I accept that people believe that that's true, and I accept that you may think that that's true. But my experience in this area with people that think that they can't see in other dimensions is that you can be taught how to. I think, is there 100% success rate? I don't know. I think sometimes it's an adjustment of thinking. Sometimes it's language.
I thought for a long time that I couldn't see. Like, even though I'd seen before, I came into the thinking that you could see, or the knowing that you could see. And then I was trying to see like I see with my natural eyes. So then I almost backtracked and put myself in this place of just going, all I can see is that whomming red, black stuff on the back of my eyelids. You know, I'm seeing that light infusion, maybe if I'd looked at the light or something like that, but I'm trying so desperately to see that I didn't realize that I actually was already seeing.
Yeah, we've definitely walked alongside a few people that don't believe that they can see in other dimensions, in the supernatural spaces. And my experience with some people is that they just haven't trusted that they can. But after a while, it seems like people can be shown that it's possible, if not more. I think that what are you pointing out to me?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily so much seeing only darkness, it's actually seeing dark-natured beings.
Okay. Yeah, different discussion.
Yeah.
Cool.
Totally
different discussion. And it is something that we talk about, you know, probably not so much on a happy hour type conversation like this, but on the side, you know, like, and for anybody that's interested in talking to us about anything sort of, you know, more personally or one-on-one or anything like that, our website's there on the bottom of the screen. You know, we can interact through wildfiretribe.life or Facebook Messenger or any of those things. But yeah, I think I see where you're going with that conversation. It is something that we deal with. It is something that we talk about. It is something that that we do converse with lots of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
All of the time. This is what we do. You know, this is our entire life. Is I don't even know why it's called happy hour sometimes, Kylie. I think it's just so that we can wear these glasses and these outfits, isn't
It's because everything doesn't need to be so serious.
Mhm.
And I think that's one of our things is like we if we're going to be all in, like there are all of these pieces of ourselves that want to engage with joy. Like we want to laugh and we don't just want to be about the serious business of theology.
Yes, because we have got theology certificates and we have gone to church lots and we know lots of that stuff. And in that environment, you're serious.
And, you know, you can't just have all the serious God stuff over here and then our real life over here where we're joking. It's actually all of it. Like God has got this crazy, wild sense of humor. And if we let ourselves engage with the joy of life, like the joy of, you know, even like you were saying, consider it pure joy, my friends, when we face trials of many kinds, because, you know, it's like, it's that place that
because the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Blah, blah, blah. But on the other side, it's all good news.
Yes, it is. It is. And even in the midst of it, it's still good news because, like, we're all walking through things that don't make sense, that don't.
Because even when you begin to face trials, you know that on the other side of it, there is going to be victory. So therefore, as you approach the trial, it's like you can celebrate in advance.
Yeah.
Like my motorbike.
Yes. The trial of
not having a motorbike in your life.
Which has been quite an ordeal, and there has been happiness and chug, chug, chug on the other end.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
What else have you got to tell me, Kylie? Has anybody got any questions on the screen whilst you look for something to talk about? I'll scroll through there. As I said many times before on this happy hour, these are not prescription glasses, and I do need them. What are you doing? Cute, funny, and ridiculous. I find it therapy. I'm so glad that you find this therapeutic. I am genuinely glad that you do, and I agree about the cute and funny bit as well, and ridiculous.
You're cute and funny, and I'm ridiculous.
And one day I'll get a bike again. Yeah.
Hey, come on. Yeah.
For about a year, I've had a motorbike, but just a little old one. And I've wanted something bigger, something more reliable. And I've been talking about it every time we do a podcast, and we've done nearly 50 of them. I always get the word motorbike in there. I always manage to talk about it. Even though it's a serious spiritual conversation, I do love motorbikes. And I actually just yesterday got a motorbike.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it happened. So keep talking about it.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Keep talking about the bikes, like anything that you're wanting to have in your life. You talk about it, attract it to you. Is it possible that if you talk about miserable things all the time, then your life is miserable all the time?
Mm-hmm.
So if you choose to talk about positive, happy, joyous events like riding motorbikes all the time, is it possible that you attract those things towards you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Pick of the bike. Oh, Yolande, you want to see my motorbike, do you? Well, why don't you come to my house and I'll put you on the back of my bike and take you for a ride.
Beautiful Yolande. How good was it to see Yolande?
It was amazing to see Yolande. It always is.
Beautiful Bliss.
The only thing about Yolande that I didn't like was that she made me go shopping.
I must say that was another one of those moments, kind of like the flight. But yeah, you are not a shopper, and you did really well to go shopping with Yolande.
Thank you. And I see I think other people probably want to see the photo of my bike, and I just don't know how I can do it through what we've got going on here at the moment. This is a bit of a tricky software package, but go to our website. It's on wildfiretribe.life. And I think I'll just put something up on Facebook maybe.
Put it on the Wildfire Tribe page on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So all the links for Facebook, even TikTok, we have a TikTok account, Instagram, lots of other things that we're working on. There's links for all of those things on our website, wildfiretribe.life. So I'll just keep on saying it as if you've never heard that. I'll keep saying it as much as I have to get you to go there. Everything to do with what we do is available through there, including the podcast that comes out every single Friday on Spotify and all of those things.
Yeah, come on.
Now,
are you ready for Christmas? Have you bought me a present yet?
Your present is my present.
But that's the same present you get me every year.
But you say that you love it every year.
Well, I do. I do love it.
So I'll just keep on giving you that present.
It is pretty close though, Christmas. How crazy, hey?
Hey, what's that saying? Something about hair on the motorbike? Like you though, Sean, the both of us can feel hair on a bike. Yeah, I've got a big long moustache, and on my motorbike, my moustache blows right back. I would love one day, if possible, this is something else that I need to start talking positively about. It's having a big long beard so that when you ride a bike, it splits in half and then curls up.
I just don't know if it's possible. You're going to have to just speak that into being.
Yes, Yolanda, it was very difficult going to all those shops with you for me. That was a trial. Consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of any kind. Like going shopping with your friend who wants to look at every product on the shelf and then put it back. And then go into all the different shops looking for tiny little communion cups so we could have
and
communion.
Wasn't that communion spectacular? Like, what about that big communion bread Yolande got us to eat in Mildura? Oh, whoa, that was so much whack on that bread. I just remember, like, I think it was after the second night, and we were all standing around, like, just feasting on the communion. Like, after everybody had left, we were just like, yum, 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 yum.
Yeah, and thank you, Yolande, for providing communion at those conferences, and also everywhere I've been where you have been. You've been the person with the bread and the wine.
She's a wacky lady.
Yeah, thank you. It's so good to meet some of you people that are on our screen, on our comments now for the first time in person as well, for all of the hugs. I remember at the conference in Mildura where before it actually started one morning, I was just talking about whatever was coming out of my mouth. And I asked anybody that wanted to give me a hug that's never met me in real life, but just on a screen to do so. And then there was all these people there. It was,
in a line. It was
really,
so cute.
It was really cool. Yeah. It was so good to meet all you people.
Yeah, it's so special.
Just split your beard with the hair.
With 2 hair ties. And then you don't have to wish anymore. Come on. You could get those baby hair ties.
Yeah. Yeah, good. What I love about having no hair, like I can actually grow a little bit of hair, but I shave it now, is that when you take your helmet off, it's just done.
Yeah, it's true.
Doesn't matter. You can go anywhere. You can sleep on a lounge, on the floor, in bed, just get up and everything's done. You would know that, Sam, at the cafe. Sam, I see that you've commented there recently, so you must be still with us. Don't I look stunning every morning when I walk into your cafe with my hair completely done?
And your crunched up coffee card.
Yeah. Oh, look what I'm doing now. That's not a coffee card, but that's what it looks like. Willy Wonka. I've run Cadbury.
I reckon Willy Wonka in the cinema.
Oh, okay. So there's lots of people in the comments that are saying they've got to leave and go on other Zooms, etc. And I wasn't aware that there was any on that I'm normally on, but there probably is. So thank you.
What day is it?
It's Monday. Thank you for joining us in the meantime. Anyway, you're always free to come and go. Please share these things with other people. Please, like, press the love heart. I know that I do it on other people's screens. You can press the love heart and it flies up in the air. It's pretty cool. The more that you do things like that, the more people that get to see the content that we put out there. This is not the only thing that we do. This is probably one of the easiest going kind of things that we do. Yeah, so it's not too serious, but can be sometimes. So mystical is refreshing. I see, absolutely stunning. That's for sure. See, I told you that.
I know.
I appear stunning in
Yes.
the mornings.
Yes. I tell it to you every morning, honey.
No, you don't. It's time for another meeting, 8:30. I think I'll have to jump off. No worries. That's not a problem at all. Thank you for joining us. Any time is good. So contact us through our website for any more information about what it is that we do. For the guys who are talking about, seeing in the supernatural spaces, etc., it's probably more of a conversation to be not had here necessarily, but somewhere else. So if you're interested in pursuing that conversation, just reach out via our website and we can certainly talk about it and maybe help you to see in those spaces. It is something that we do with people. What else do we do? What do we actually do? Sam, what do we do?
I love it. Yeah, we do a lot of things.
You've got a book, Kylie. Why don't you tell people about your book?
Sure.
You should tell people about your book.
The New Now. And it is an immersive experiential journey into the mystic just in our everyday lives. Lots of practical activations, lots of cool stories and things to inspire you in your own walk.
You can get that on our website as well.
Yes, you
can't
can.
you? Or you can just walk into any bookshop anywhere. And if they don't have it, you can ask them to get it and they will be able to get it. I read it in one afternoon, so a matter of 4 or 5 hours, I would say. I know other people have said that they can read it that quickly as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's going to cost you a lot of your days and weeks to get through it, to try and get something out of it. You will be able to read it in the space of a day, and there is tons of Kylie's life. I guess that's what it's mainly about, parts of things that's happened in your life that are very inspirational, including her healing from cancer underneath her eye, where she went for surgery and didn't even have to have surgery.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stories, because that's what I think, there's power in all of our testimonies. In each one of us has got amazing things that we can share with one another, and each one of those stories is the key to help unlock a truth or a breakthrough or even a miracle for somebody else. So it's important that we, share our stories.
I still haven't been able to work out. Okay, that's funny. I still haven't been able to work out, what does it say? I can't read it. What you do, Sean, but thank goodness that you both do come to the cafe. That's actually our job. That is our job. We come to the cafe.
Yeah. And so much of what we do is cheering people on. And
we're very grateful that there's a cafe to go to, and we it's a part of what we do as well, is just try and hang out with people and try and be a part of people's lives. And that's a part of what we do. We actually think we do know parts of what we do, but it's probably confusing for most other people.
Well, it certainly was a fun time away, spending time with a lot of people that we do things with on a consistent basis.
We scoop up pieces of creation and share it with other people. We paint, we draw, we write books, music.
Yeah, we do our podcast. Yeah. And
ride motorbikes.
I anticipate an album next year filled with music, new music.
That would be great.
Yeah, so that's coming.
How many songs do you reckon you've written, Kylie?
Hundreds. But there's not going to be hundreds on the album.
No, you've got to draw it out one at a time.
We're on the album, probably have a punchy 12 or 15. So that would be awesome.
Next year. That's one of the things that you want to have happen in your life next year.
Yes.
What else? Is there anything else? Any books?
Yeah, I've got another book coming out.
You're going to write another book?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that'll be awesome.
Why don't you ask me what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do, honey?
I don't know. Ride motorbikes and drink coffee.
And do more talking. Just keep talking.
Just talk.
Talking is a big part of what you're meant to be doing.
I like visiting people.
I'm vibing that.
Like I did today. I visited people and, the town. I went for a ride for 100 odd Ks, I suppose, in the rain.
Yeah.
Visited people.
And didn't get wet. I love the part that you didn't get wet.
I had coffee with other people. It's a sacrifice.
Yeah. But that's, that's it. It's sharing our lives with one another. It's like not being afraid to follow and nudge when you think, oh, I'm really feeling like I need to catch up with this person.
The
or
desires of your heart.
Yeah.
Actually functioning, living your existence within the desires of your heart.
Yeah.
How do you find out what they are? How do you find out if you can do that? Does it cost you something? Do you have to buy into it? Do you have to wait until you're retired?
To get the desires of your heart. Well, I feel like part of it is even knowing what they are, like where you get to that place where you think, who am I? Like, how did I become this person? Like, where did everything I ever dreamt of being a part of, where did all that go?
Yeah.
Like it gets lost in responsibilities in life and, all those kind of things you're told are the journey or the pathway to success or the pathway to fulfillment or the pathway to just what is it called, when you're like safe, the pathway to
I don't know what you're saying.
Like contentment. And but then somewhere along the line you realize I haven't laughed for a really long time. Like I haven't, like, where was that thing that used to come alive in me? Where did that go? What happened to the person that I was? And even though I don't want to go back to be that person, because you accumulate, you become wiser and all those kind of things as you go along as well, but there's something about revisiting the childlikeness that you have, where you're able to believe that anything is possible.
So I was in Service New South Wales today, speaking of miserable existences. Oh, you didn't say that, did you? No, I was just in Service New South Wales, and
you just don't like standing in lines.
No, what I did notice in there, and it's only an assumption, so it's not scientifically proven or anything, but I'm just assuming that there's people on staff there that don't actually thoroughly enjoy their existence, and it's just a part of the conversation for me when I think about the desires of your heart and what it is that you want to do with your life. If you can actually choose to live the desires of your heart, things that make you happy, etc., do you need to be behind the counter at Service New South Wales if you have a choice? And don't you have a choice?
Yeah. Well, I think we have more choice than we realise. It's difficult though. It's a hard one because people feel backed into a corner.
There's many things that I've done in the past as well that I've not wanted to do anymore.
And sometimes giving yourself the ability to make the choice means letting go of a lot of things. And that's the hard part, because sometimes you're forced into a place where you feel like you don't have a choice, but it's because you're holding on to a bunch of stuff that isn't for you anymore. And you need to let go of all of that stuff to be able to position yourself to be able to have more choices. I talk about it in my book.
Yeah, well, that's another thing that, when I give you the opportunity to talk about your book, you should actually talk about your book. And like, it's like the screen has frozen. Did you just touch something?
No, it was already frozen.
So I don't know if it's still happening or not. I know it's that phone call there, is it? Get rid of that. It's probably a problem. So there's every chance that you can still hear us, but maybe not see us. Maybe we're not moving. We're not very sure. So anyway, I think we're coming up to probably about the hour mark. So I think we might just bail anyway. We thank you so much for jumping on and interacting with us as well. This is one of the places where we hope to have people interact with us. People don't talk to us on our podcast. It's just us talking. So thank you for joining in the conversation tonight. I'm not sure if it's still going or not either. But we love all of you people that interact with us, and we thank you for being a part of our lives. If anybody wants to reach out to us on the side, contact us through wildfiretribe.life is the best place to go. Yeah, thank you guys so much for having a happy hour with us this evening, and we look forward to the next time we're jumping on, and we will see you then. Bye. Bye. Oh, it's frozen.